Good evening and welcome once again to the Real Truth channel. It is amazing that Ukraine are still actually able to fight this war, and that is because they are being supplied obviously by NATO and America. Without it, this war would have been over already. Ukraine suffered another major blow. They've already tried to storm Bakhmut, that failed. They've already tried to storm Zaporozhye, Krasny Liman, and Adivka, and all of those have failed. They're losing the battle in Mariinka, where the Chechens are overrunning them. Last night, in a place called Cherasky or Chesaki, excuse me if my Russian pronunciation or my Ukrainian pronunciation isn't brilliant, they suffered a major blow. There was a fireball, absolutely huge explosion, when they managed to get one of their missiles into Ukraine's biggest ammo depot in the region, and everything went up. There are videos out there on Twitter that you can actually go and see. This is a fairly brief update to let you know what happens, and as we hear more, then obviously we'll start to make more videos of slightly longer duration. There will also be a Patreon account, and also we are now on Twitter. It is without doubt quite crazy that we continue to fund a war that is utterly unwinnable unless you have NATO troops on the ground. And we've already spoken about how they're going to try and get the eastern NATO nations into this war. They're already having a conference in about a month's time, which no doubt they're going to put forward proposals where Eastern European countries' troops go into Ukraine. Ukraine is losing ground steadily. Don't get me wrong, they're fighting like cat and dog to try and make some headway. But for every little bit of headway they make, they waste so many troops and so many lives. Nothing could be more stupid than the other evening when they decided in the middle of the night to try and go past the Russian heavy defences, blundered straight into a minefield in the dark. Quite who is behind these brilliant ideas of counter-offensives is beyond me. But one thing's for certain, if they remain in charge, this war won't last very much longer. You cannot be doing the sort of things that they're doing. I know they're holding back the Leopards and the Challengers to try and hit the Russians' heavier defences when they can, and they're making concerted efforts, but they're losing steadily, slowly, and surely. And there are more and more Ukrainian bodies pile up while nobody talks peace, which seems a very crazy thing to me. There are over another 2,000 Ukrainians died over the last few days, and it seems to me that more and more Ukrainians are going to be without their fathers and their sons, and families are going to be mourning the dead as they pile up. There is now a concerted figure of 83,000 that have died in Bakhmut. There will be loads more bodies to find. They're buried under rubble, they'll be in fields, they'll be in trenches, they'll be in ditches. Normally, when an aid worker is working in this area, he will say for everybody, as I've said already, for one body you find, there is another one or two waiting to be found. And that's happened in Bakhmut, with 50,000 being the start of the death toll. That was the estimated figure. And then they started finding more and more. Do not be surprised if it's well over 100,000 by the time they have finished. As I say, it's approaching there now, and it may well even surpass that. And you have to wonder how long Ukraine can go along making these sort of crazy decisions where they just waste human lives. And it almost seems, to the last Ukrainian, seems to be a mantra and something they're hurtling towards at breakneck speed. It is almost like an out of control bus with a big foghorn on top of it saying, we're winning, driving off a cliff at about 90 miles an hour. Thanks for listening.